Have you ever been maybe scrolling online and you realize the English you're seeing feels, I don't know, like a totally different language from school?
Oh, definitely.
Or maybe you spent ages learning, say, French years back, and now it feels like it's just gone, vanished.
That's such a common feeling, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at how we actually learn languages, how we hold on to them, and how we can even relearn them, especially English.
Right.
Our mission really is to sort of cut through all the noise about traditional learning methods, the stuff that often doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
We want to uncover what really works using, real experiences from places like online forums, insights from language experts, and even some fascinating science on memory and sleep.
Sleep, okay. I'm intrigued already. And think of this as your shortcut, your guide to figuring out the best ways for you to get a real handle on English, or honestly, any language you're tackling. We're going to focus on those practical tips, look at the pros and cons you might not expect, and really show you how to leverage your brain's natural way of doing things.
Exactly. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's kick things off by jumping right into the digital wild. We stumbled upon this great Reddit post, 5 things I learned about English from 2 weeks on Reddit. And what this learner found really hits the nail on the head about real-world English.
It really does. What's so striking is how fast they realize that, in day-to-day chat, context just trumps strict grammar rules.
Right.
Native speakers, well, we don't always talk like textbooks, do we? What matters is sounding natural, being understood.
Like the classic, I'm good versus I'm well.
Exactly that. You'd almost always say I'm good, even if someone tells you well is technically correct.
Yeah.
The Reddit user actually pointed out a linguist's comment on this, saying it's about being understood naturally, communicating, not just being, pedantic. Linguistics sees grammar as something that evolves naturally from use.
Not just rules written down somewhere.
Precisely. It's alive, constantly changing.
That feels freeing, actually, for anyone learning. Less about perfection, more about connection.
Yeah.
And that connects to the slang, right?
Yeah.
The sheer amount of it online.
Oh, absolutely. Things like spill the tea or hot take.
Spill the tea. I remember hearing that and just thinking, what?
Yeah, it's confusing at first, but the user found that just being in that environment, seeing how people actually talk, the context helped them figure it out. It shows how language is always adapting.
And it's not just the words, is it? It's the tone.
Tone changes everything. That was another big discovery for them. Punctuation, emojis, even just the general vibe of a subreddit can completely flip the meaning of a sentence.
Warmth, sarcasm.
Aggression, yeah. You don't get that level of nuance from a textbook. It's purely from exposure.
Which leads to maybe the most comforting point for learners. Making mistakes is okay.
Yes. The user really highlighted how positive their experience was. Even with imperfect grammar, people were kind, patient.
They just wanted to understand.
Exactly. Focused on the message, not the mistakes. That kind of supportive space is gold for building confidence. Often the biggest hurdle isn't the rules, it's the fear, right?
Totally. So the big pro here is getting that real everyday English.
Definitely. And immersion textbooks just can't match. You get colloquial language, real-life usage.
And it forces you to read longer stuff without a translator.
Right, which boosts your reading speed and your ability to guess meaning from context. Plus, you interact with people globally, which opens your mind to different cultures, different ways of thinking.
Okay, those are huge benefits. But there's a catch, isn't there? A consideration.
There is, and it's important. While online immersion is great, it's not the whole story. A commenter wisely pointed out that Reddit, for instance, has its own particular register.
Register, like a specific style.
Exactly. Think about it. You talk differently to friends than you do in a formal work email, right?
Yeah, totally different.
Each situation has its own register, its own unspoken rules for words, tone, grammar. So Reddit English isn't the true English. Every context has its own version.
Got it. And written English isn't always spoken English either.
Precisely. What you type in a chat might sound weird, said out loud. And here's a real caution. Sometimes non-native speakers repeat the same mistakes online.
And other learners pick them up. Oh, dear.
Yeah, thinking they're correct. So you really have to double-check things you learn from the internet, especially if you need the language for more formal situations.
Okay, so knowing all that, how do you actually use these online spaces effectively? What are the tips?
Well, first, focus on context over perfect grammar for that natural sound. Don't fear imperfection, just engage.
Jump in.
Yeah. But be aware of those different registers. Notice how language changes, and try exploring diverse online communities to get varied exposure. It's about adapting and absorbing.
Adapting, absorbing. Okay, so that covers getting the language in.
Mm-hmm.
But what about making it stick? Because, let's be honest, you learn a word one day.
And it's gone the next, yep.
That brings us to the science bit, right? Memory and this thing called the forgetting curve.
Ah, yes, the forgetting curve. Fascinating stuff from Hermann Ebbinghaus, way back in the 1880s.
Wow, that far back.
Indeed. He meticulously tested himself memorizing nonsense syllables, then tracked how quickly he forgot them. He called it transience, just the natural fading of memory over time.
And the curve shows.
It shows you forget stuff incredibly fast right after learning it. Then the rate of forgetting slows down, it levels off. But that initial drop is steep. It's a bit daunting visually.
Yeah, sounds like we're fighting a losing battle. So how do we counter this natural decay? Do we forget everything equally?
Good question. No, we don't. Interestingly, you tend to forget vocabulary more than you forget grammar. The structure seems to stick around better.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe more frustratingly, your ability to speak or write on the fly disappears faster than your passive ability, just understanding what you hear or read.
That makes sense. It's easier to follow a news report than give one.
Exactly. And that's why consistency is just crucial. There's this classic example, the on and off student trap.
Tell me more.
Okay, imagine Evan, total beginner, but he studied consistently every day, even just a little. Slow progress, but steady, successful.
Right.
Then there's Laura, intermediate level, but inconsistent. Missed classes, didn't practice, took months off. When she came back, no progress. Often, she'd actually forgotten things.
Ouch. So consistency was the key difference.
Absolutely. It backs up the finding that the more solidly something is learned initially and reinforced, the slower you forget it.
So for retention, and maybe for relearning that language we thought we lost, what actually works? What are the strategies?
The number one strategy, backed by Ebbinghaus himself, is spaced repetition combined with active recall.
Okay, break those down. Spaced repetition.
It means reviewing information at increasing intervals. Ebbinghaus found each review lets you wait longer before the next one is needed. It flattens that forgetting curve.
And active recall, not just rereading.
Exactly. Active recall is forcing yourself to retrieve the information from memory, like a mini quiz in your head, not just passively looking at it again. This actively strengthens the memory trace.
How effective is that?
Massively. Studies show students using active recall remembered about 80% of new words, those who just reread. Only 34%.
Wow, 80 versus 34, that's huge.
It really is. And for timing those reviews, the best time for that first recall is within the first 24 hours. Review today what you learned yesterday.
Got it.
And for later reviews, aim to recall it just before you'd likely forget it. Maybe 10-20% of the time towards when you need the information. It makes each review count more.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about those languages we feel are completely gone, like my hypothetical high school French? Is it really lost forever?
Good news, probably not. Experts say your French may be forgotten, but it's not gone. It's like riding a bike.
The classic analogy.
It is classic, but it holds true. The basic structures, the sounds, they're still filed away somewhere. To get them back, focus on recovering your vocabulary first.
How? Flashcards.
Flashcards are great, especially with spaced repetition. Also, frequency dictionaries help you prioritize common words and just, immersing yourself again.
Reading, movies.
Exactly. Yeah. Reading, watching movies, listening to podcasts in French, they're enjoyable ways to reactivate what's dormant. Getting varied practice is key.
So the most important thing is?
Honestly, just start. Just begin that process of remembering. Even a few minutes starts waking up those old connections.
Okay, that's encouraging. But what about the downsides of forgetting? It feels bad, right?
It does. There's the skill deterioration, and the fear of making mistakes can make you avoid trying, like the story of Stephen losing his childhood Garo language after moving away. No context, no practice. It faded.
Yeah.
But the big pro is that foundational knowledge remains. Relearning is way faster than learning from scratch. Plus, learning languages actually makes you a better language learner overall.
Like exercising a muscle.
Kind of, yeah. It makes returning to an old language or picking up a new one easier. It's a positive feedback loop.
That's really hopeful. Okay, finally, let's talk optimization. How do we prime our brains for this? Two big things you mentioned, sleep and habits.
Yes, two often underestimated superpowers for learning. Sleep first, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
Better than just rest.
Much more. Research on sleep and consolidation shows it does two vital things. One, it reinforces what you learned during the day, literally cementing memories.
Okay.
Two, your brain also starts throwing things out it deems unimportant. It's like decluttering, making your knowledge more efficient.
Actively sorting while we sleep. Studies on this are pretty compelling, aren't they?
They really are. One study had a wake-first group learn an artificial language, then stay awake. Their performance deteriorated.
Right.
But after they slept, they actually improved. Compare that to the sleep-first group. They slept right after learning, and their performance was stable right away.
That's amazing. And didn't they find something about physical skills, too?
Yes. With a motor task after sleep, the learned skill could even be performed better by the untrained hand. It suggests really deep consolidation is happening. It's active learning, not just passive rest.
So the tip is crystal clear then.
Prioritize sleep. Good sleep hygiene isn't just nice to have, it's fundamental to your learning strategy. If you can, schedule intense study before a good night's sleep to lock it in. Forget all-nighters for long-term retention.
Okay, sleep is sorted. Now, superpower number 2, habits.
Habits. The engine of sustainable change. Language learning needs that consistency we talked about. The key is automaticity.
Automaticity.
Yeah, where you do something repeatedly in the same context until it becomes automatic, without conscious thought, like brushing your teeth.
You don't think about the steps.
Exactly. You build associations between a cue, a routine, and the reward of automaticity. You can speed this up by anchoring a new habit to an existing one, like linking 5 minutes of flashcards to your morning coffee.
Anchoring.
And designing your environment helps too, having specific cues that trigger the habit.
This goes right back to Evan and Laura, the consistent versus inconsistent students.
It does. Habits beat sporadic effort every time. So practically, maybe dedicate specific days to specific skills. Monday reading, Tuesday writing.
Small, consistent chunks.
Small, incremental changes. That's how strong habits are built. Find your cues, coffee, commute, before bed, and link a small language task.
Use those apps too.
Anki.
Quizlet.
Absolutely. They build in spaced repetition, making review automatic. Or courses like Repeticon Me, they prompt active recall and pronunciation by making you speak before hearing the answer.
Right. So the benefit of good habits.
Sustained engagement, active learning, and ultimately that long-term retention that feels almost effortless because it's just part of your routine.
Okay, wow. So pulling all this together, this deep dive.
Yeah.
The key takeaways seem to be embrace real-world context, especially online, but know that language changes with the situation those registers. Use active recall like it's your superpower against forgetting, and time your reviews smartly. Never, ever skimp on sleep. It's actively consolidating your learning.
Please don't.
And finally, build those small, consistent habits. Anchor them to your life. They're your best friend on this journey.
If you integrate these ideas, you'll really start working with your brain's natural processes, not fighting against them. You'll see the difference.
And maybe, if language is always evolving, always shaped by conversation and context, when true mastery isn't about perfect rules, maybe it's more like a lifelong dance with discovery, where every mistake is just a step, every sleep is a leap forward, and every little habit builds a bridge to understanding, to connection.